Picture this. A morning so ordinary it's almost cruel, shattered by a single moment that rewrites your life. Gerald, my husband of 42 years, was mid-joke about my terrible choice in coffee creamer when his heart stopped. Right there at the kitchen table. 1 second he's laughing, tapping his spoon. The next he's gone, eyes wide, spoon clattering to the floor. That's where this story starts. Not just with loss, but with the kind of betrayal that makes you question everything you thought you knew about family. Buckle up, because this one's going to sting. I was still shaking when I dialed Nathan, my only son, my voice barely holding together as I told him, "Your dad's gone, collapsed, dead." The paramedics were still in the house, their voices a dull hum as I stared at Gerald's lifeless hand, cold under mine. I waited for Nathan's shock, his grief, maybe even a sob. Instead, I got this. "Oh, Mom, it's Megan's birthday today. Can I call you tomorrow? We've got a brunch thing planned." I froze. The words didn't even make sense at first, like my brain refused to process them. Megan's birthday? Brunch. My husband's body wasn't even cold, and my son was prioritizing mimosas and Instagram moments. I hung up without a word, not because I was angry, but because I didn't trust myself to speak without screaming. I sat there next to Gerald's chair, his coffee mug still half full, and felt the world tilt. Here's the kicker. Gerald had called Nathan the night before, 10:42 p.m. No answer, no voicemail. Maybe he sensed something was wrong. Maybe he just wanted to hear his son's voice. Nathan didn't pick up, and now with Gerald gone, that silence was louder than any funeral bell. Hang on, because this is just the start. It gets uglier, more raw. Stick around to see what happens when Nathan faces the kind of injustice he can't brunch his way out of. The funeral was a blur of pitying glances and casseroles I didn't eat. I stood by Gerald's casket, gripping the podium like it was the only thing keeping me upright, while people murmured, "He was such a good man." But the absence of Nathan screamed louder than their condolences. My son, the boy Gerald taught to tie a tie and balance a checkbook, wasn't there. Not in the pews, not in the parking lot, not even on the phone. I'd called the night before to confirm the time. Megan answered, her voice dripping with fake sympathy. "He's still thinking about it, Cora. We booked a weekend getaway and cancellation fees are brutal." I didn't respond. I just hung up because begging your son to show up to his father's funeral felt like a new kind of death. Then at the reception, Gerald's coworker Brian dropped a bomb. He was stressed about helping Nathan out financially, he said casually, like he wasn't unraveling my world. Gerald never told me. We didn't keep secrets, or so I thought. That night, I found Megan's Instagram post, her in a pink dress, mimosa in hand, captioned, "Best birthday ever, love my hubby," posted during the eulogy. My hands shook so hard I nearly dropped my phone. That's when I started digging. Gerald's locked filing cabinet, the spare key taped behind our wedding photo, like some cruel irony, held the truth. A folder labeled Nathan Transfers. Thousands of dollars wired to Nathan, $2,000, $3,500, $12,000 labeled Urgent, Megan Medical. 15 transfers in 18 months, all behind my back. And then, the gut punch, an unsent letter from Gerald to Nathan, warning him to stop lying about Megan's expenses or the money would dry up. Dated 2 weeks before he died. Nathan didn't just skip the funeral. He'd been bleeding his father dry, and Gerald, ever the protector, kept it from me to spare my heart. Too late for that now. We're on the edge of something big here. The truth is about to explode, and it's going to flip everything you think you know about this family. You can't miss what's coming next. Nathan showed up 5 days after the funeral, unannounced, like he thought he could waltz back into my life with a half-assed apology. Megan waited in the car, engine running, like she was ready to bolt at the first sign of accountability. "Megan thinks I should have come sooner," he said, fidgeting on my couch. Of course she did. Not him, not his conscience. Her. I didn't offer him coffee. I didn't offer him anything except the truth. "Did you know your dad called you the night before he died?" I asked, watching his jaw twitch. "Phone was on silent," he mumbled. Megan planned a surprise dinner. Excuses piled up like dirty laundry, each one flimsier than the last. Then I handed him Gerald's unsent letter. He read it, folded it, and had the nerve to say, "He didn't mean that," like he could rewrite his father's words the way he'd rewritten our family. I was done. Done with the lies, the deflections, the audacity. I told him to leave, and as he walked out, Megan's smirk from the car told me everything. She thought she'd won. She had no idea what was coming. 3 weeks later, a flash drive appeared in my mailbox. My name in Ava's 12-year-old handwriting. No note, just evidence. Recordings, screenshots, videos. Megan yelling about manipulating the will, threatening to pull Ava from school. Nathan, casual as ever, saying, "Let Mom run her game. Ava can help us later." And a video of Megan plotting to question my mental state to flag the trust. Ava's shaky camera caught it all, her breath hitching as she recorded from behind her door. At the bottom, a note from Ava. "Grandma, I know they're lying. I believe you. I'm saving this in case you need help." My heart broke, not for me, but for her, a child carrying the weight of her parents' deceit. I backed up the drive, sent a copy to Alan, and wrote Ava a new letter, sealed for her 18th birthday, promising her I'd always trust her truth. At mediation, Megan played the victim, claiming my grief made me unstable. I slid the folder across the table, Gerald's letter, the transfers, Ava's flash drive labeled evidence. The mediator's face changed as she read, listened, watched. Megan's story collapsed. She stormed out, screaming about my loneliness. Nathan stayed, finally admitting, "I didn't know it got that bad." I told him, "You didn't want to know." He left without a word. Ava turned 18 last week. She showed up with my letter, unopened, and said, "I wanted to read it with you." We sat in Gerald's chair, her tears falling as she read my words about her grandfather's love, her parents' betrayal, and the trust I set up to protect her. "Is this still true?" she asked. "Every word," I said. She hugged me, whispering, "Thank you for telling me the truth when no one else would." Later, she showed me a video from her name change hearing, declaring her middle name, Coraline, after me. At her graduation, when they called Ava Coraline Whitfield, she looked at me, smiling with a clarity Gerald would have been proud of. Nathan was there, alone, clapping weakly from the back. He didn't approach us. He knew he'd lost more than money. That night, Ava said she chose to live with me next semester. As I tucked her in, she said, "You gave me a life I didn't know I needed." I kissed her forehead, walked past Gerald's photo, and whispered, "She's going to be okay, love. We're going to be okay." And for the first time, I believed it. Epilogue. This wasn't about revenge. It was about drawing a line where Gerald couldn't, protecting the only piece of our family still worth saving. Ava's not just inheriting money, she's inheriting the truth, the kind that cuts deep but sets you free. Nathan and Megan can keep their brunches and their excuses. Ava's legacy is courage, and I'll spend every day I have left making sure she knows it.